More updates today on our progress with Horizons of Achaea, that and potentially a new Skies of Arcadia remaster on the horizon. Hello everybody and welcome back to another developer log for the game Horizons of Achaea. Today I have a few updates on our progress with Horizon, and if you're new to the channel, it's a JRPG that we're developing that's heavily inspired by the game Skies of Arcadia, as well as other influences like Dragon Quest and Unicorn Overlord. And quick plug, if you're looking to support this startup, links are below for our Patreon and our Ko-Fi and our merch store. All funds are going to the developers that are helping with this project, because I truly believe that a studio's first responsibility is to its employees and its developers. I'm not taking a dime out of this project so far, because they're the ones that matter the most. Anyways, first, the big news in the Sega world, and that's the potential for a new Skies of Arcadia remaster. Yes, Sega has appeared to renew their rights to the Skies of Arcadia and Eternal Arcadia names. And while this may not be suspect at first, as companies renew their IPs all the time, this is one that Sega let expire a couple of years ago. So it begs the question, why now? So the speculation around the Skies of Arcadia community specifically is that there are some sort of plans to utilize the Skies of Arcadia name and or its characters in some future project. Sega here lately has been professing that they're wanting to bring back a lot of their IPs. I suspect with a lot of the success of the Sonic movies, as well as other notable titles like Unicorn Overlord that they went in with Atlas on. So as you can imagine, this is really, pumped up Skies fans' hopium, if you will. While this could mean a number of things, a remaster is really not out of the question. Remasters are very hot right now, and people are buying them up left and right. But it also could mean that they're just going to feature Vice in another Sega racing game. But certainly, it's news nonetheless. I actually came to find out about it it's probably been about a week now. I started to get a whole bunch of text and emails and DMs asking if I was going to scrap the Horizons of Achaea project. And my answer to that is most definitely no. First off, Horizons of Achaea is not aiming to be a carbon copy of Skies of Arcadia. And I wouldn't be so arrogant as to think that we could even pull that off. Skies of Arcadia is on a pedestal all of its own. Horizons pays homage to, but is not looking to replace. And I believe as people get to play our game, they're going to see the different direction that we took. That said, I'll absolutely be rooting for Sega to give us a remastered version of Skies of Arcadia Legends. I would love to see that on the new Nintendo Switch 2, as I know that'll be the console that I'm buying. And to geek out for just a second, if they were to do some other game that's independent of that story, I would hope it's almost a prequel, since there's still some mystery that could be, explored about the Dark Rift, or maybe even where Vice's dad came from, and how the Blue Rogues even came to be. Okay, I'm getting off track. On to development updates. As I mentioned in the last developer update, we were hoping to bring on a few more developers onto this project, and we've been able to do just that. Right now, the team has definitely grown and consists of a studio artist, a 3D artist, a level designer, one game programmer, a composer, an audio engineer, a story writer, a community manager, it's not just me behind there, a friend or two who's helping me with some knowledge gaps, and we've also managed to get a couple of voice actors on board. So be looking to hearing some voices paired with these characters that we're putting out there. We've also got our next airship model completed. Take a look. We've completed the rigging and animation, and it'll start appearing in some gameplay footage here soon. This one is actually one of the enemy airships that players will encounter in the first opening moments of the game. The detail our 3D artist was able to achieve on this is amazing, and we're excited to finally be able to play around with it in game. We're also working pretty diligently on the battle mechanics for the game, specifically ship-to-ship combat. For those that may not recall, we're working on a battle system that molds the cinematic style that Skies of Arcadia shot for with the automated battle system that is found in games like Unicorn Overlord. In UO, the player moves across the map and bumps into enemies that prompt a sort of planning stage before the main battle. Skies of Arcadia sort of did the same thing, where the player selects the moves that will execute during the round. Like in UO or games like Ogre Battle, once a certain amount of rounds has been completed, players will then need to fly their airships around to take another shot at the enemy, or try and escape if you can. The UI elements are super rough at the moment, but stay tuned, those won't be looking like that for very long. We're tearing through the Cormorant's NPC models and starting to introduce them into the game. So subsequent footage that you're going to be seeing will start to have other characters' models ingrained in them instead of just the default Unreal Engine's mannequin. So far we've got Trent and Doug with Maggie, Dane, and Bert on the way. Maggie should be here towards the end of the week with her rigging and animation. We've also started the 3D modeling of the first island that players are going to interact with. Again, take a look at the concept art that John's done for us. And when it comes to navigating the world of Achaea, we would be amiss if we didn't have the player looking toward the horizons. Notable locations in the world would be associated with certain constellations. I wonder which ones you'll find as you're sailing through our skies. That's it for today, but I'll be having more updates as February moves along, especially compared to the more quiet month that we just had in January. I'm extremely thankful for the support that viewers like you have been giving thus far. The encouragement is keeping me going, and it's why we're to this point already. It's definitely been a slog as I'm working full-time. I'm also a band dad for anybody that has a child in the marching band. You know what I'm talking about. And staying on top of this development as well as coordinating everybody's schedules. But I wouldn't trade this last year for any alternative path because the people I've gotten to know are just wonderful. From the developers to people I've just been in general networking with, everyone's been super supportive and really helping me figure out this as I move along. Thank you again for listening, and again, if you're feeling like supporting this project, links are below for how you can get involved. As a reminder, I'm not taking any proceeds, and all funds that are collected are going towards the developers that are helping me with this project. And as always, everybody, I'll see you on the horizons.